Hi, I'm Gavin with Haverstick Designs, and welcome back to the Sound Project. I'm sitting here today with Brett Ensley. Thanks so much for joining the podcast.
It's been awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good to see you again.
Oh, great.
And we're in your live room here in Greer, South Carolina.
Yes.
And it's the first time I've actually set foot in the live room. We designed it, but
that's right.
We did that all remotely. So
yeah, that's right.
Beautiful space. So thanks for having us over.
Oh, no, this is great to have you.
Yeah, and so for the audience, I'd love for you to start maybe a little bit just talking about your background, how you got into music, and kind of what you're doing now.
That's great. Well, brief synopsis that my dad wanted a baseball player out of me. So I was a big baseball player. Actually, I started late in music, but like I guess everybody else, I had a wonderful teacher that came in my high school around my junior year, kind of recruited me, and I just loved what you could do with music. He gave me a lot of passion in it. And so the tough story is telling my dad that I didn't want to do baseball anymore when that was kind of the hope and dream kind of going that way. But anyway, so I went to a local college and got a degree in composition, percussion, and piano performance. And then I wanted to further my studies a little bit. And then it was funny, I did a webinar, which was through FedEx, but a guy by the name of Shane McMahon, who was an orchestrator under Christopher Young, had a thing about film scoring. And I thought there'd be a lot of people on it. Well, there must have been no more than 8 or 10. So after we did this webinar type thing, I asked him, I said, would you do private lessons for film scoring stuff? And he was willing to do it once a month because he was busy.
Sure.
I didn't care what the cost was. I was like, I'll do it. And so he trained me a lot in film scoring. So I love film scoring. So film scoring was something I enjoy because I love watching movies and I love the music behind it. And so that was something that got me into it. So that was kind of how I got my start into it. And then I hooked up with some other guys and composers, and we started teaching on the side. Then I started doing marching band shows.
Okay.
And then for our local marching band, and started teaching drumline stuff and things like that. But then we got into doing tracks and stuff like that. So I had another good friend, composer of mine. We started working for a company called Signature Tracks, where we were doing tracks at the time, and that's when I needed the mix room.
Right.
That we had the design in 2016 that we had that was beautifully done.
Thank you.
And it was great. Loved working with you. That was the fantastic part.
Yeah.
And then from there, we started doing more lessons and getting a lot of people in Greenville wanted to know how to do music production, songwriting, how to write melodies, how to record and all that kind of stuff. And that became a big thing. So kind of switched gears. And so so COVID hit, and that changed a lot of things.
Sure.
Like everybody else. And then everything come to a stop. And then we started teaching again slowly but surely. But then I was like, you know what? This would be an opportunity to build this. And so through COVID, we got the design from you in 2020. Well, maybe a little before. I can't remember if it's 2019 or 2020-ish. But
in that range.
I know that we finished it in 2021 in February and that kind of thing. And then all we've been doing is, pretty much a music academy, teaching and training people. And we do projects too. We do anything they'll pay us, we'll do. Kind of thing. But we love what we do here. We enjoy it.
It's been very cool to see how much you've grown, and it just seems like you're kind of like jack of all trades, and you also surround yourself with really talented people to be able to teach these students all sorts of tricks. So.
Well, that's the great thing. I love my staff here. The staff's been fantastic, and they have a heart not just for music, but just for people in general. Because that's the thing, is we love to connect, and we love we love the artistry behind it, and we really enjoy it. And so we go out our way to really go after to teach you. We're passionate about training, and we try to push you, and push you out of your comfort zone to get better and better, and get the artwork better and better, And of course, we always get that student that likes to come and say, hey, I want to make it big someday. And it's like, well, that's great. We're not going to be jaded to tell you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we love to give you the tools, and it was like, look, don't worry about that. Let's worry about the art. Let's talk about the art. Let's start there, and let's work together.
That's really cool.
So we love that.
Yeah, I think that, with having students, and I'm sure it's probably a challenge because every student is different in how they learn and what they want to learn and things like that. So the fact that you have a lot of different instructors and yourself that can do that is awesome.
Yeah, that's very true, because that's the thing that I've learned over the years. There's a lot of things that come with it. When a student is, especially in songwriting and the art part of it, the things they experienced and been through, all that comes to it comes out and comes to play. So you're having to make them a better student. You have to listen to them. You know what I'm saying? And then and then you also have to be tough on them sometimes. And you have to love on them sometimes. And you're right. And you got to learn how they learn sometimes. And then sometimes you got okay, You just need to stop thinking about it. You're overthinking it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we're trying to get yourself out of your own way to get your artwork done. But it's beautiful. When the process is done, they're always very happy, and they learn so much that it helps them to go to the next level.
Yeah.
So we always call ourselves like a stepping stone. We always like, there's other big studios out there now. You're more prepared and understand what you're getting yourself into when you're doing that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I think that, like, when I was growing up, I took guitar lessons when I was in, I think, 5th grade.
Yeah.
It's when I first started it, and they were teaching me things I didn't really want to learn, and so I ended up stopping my lessons after about 6 months and just taught myself how to play. But I wish I would have stuck with it. Actually, I wish I would have learned on piano. That would have been a much better instrument to start on. But it's really cool. Like, what's the age ranges for students that you end up having to the program?
Yeah. So our age range really was predominantly was like, I'd say 15 to about around 24, 25-ish was our like big goal there, because we're trying to train them on how, like to record and do that level, right? But of course, as parents bring their older kids, they wanted their younger kids to get started in it. So we hired a few more teachers to work with, the younger kids. But the biggest thing here that we love to do is we quickly try to show you what it's all about. So, you can't do it on your own. I mean, you can, but it's a lonely journey. And when you have a community like us, we help support you, and then you get to play in bands, you get to do all this stuff, and that helps a lot. So instead of getting bored by yourself or you kind of get stagnant, like there was one parent that it helped us out a lot. It was kind of cool that she was telling us that her son didn't really like to practice until he got in band class.
Yeah.
Like now he can't stop.
Right.
Because now he's got another guitarist and he can't fail on his job.
Exactly.
And so now he sees the importance of playing together as a group.
Yeah.
And that's what we're big on. So we really try to get people to work together, to play together, even in the studio work together. And you know what? It's been awesome because the students, man, they encourage each other. Sometimes I just get out of the way and they're like helping each other out.
Yeah.
One student's like, "Oh, Brett said this, but you need to play," and it's just great. And he says something I had taught him, but now he's teaching that person. And I'm like,
I think it's great because it teaches them responsibility and like that whole piece of like not letting your bandmate down. It's like, because if it's left up to you, sometimes you may like, I'm not going to practice because I want to do something else. But it's like, if people are counting on you, then you got to do it.
Yeah, you're held accountable.
Yeah,
a lot of times, and yeah, that's the fun part is watching the community at work. And that's our big slogan that we're doing is that's just a thing. It's like, you don't have to do this alone. We're here as a community. You get to play together. You get to do stuff together, and that's a big part of it because I mean, with the new tools today, you can watch YouTube, and there's a lot of things online that are phenomenal. These people are wonderful teachers online and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it just helps to have someone there in the room to tell you and correct things a lot of times and have the intuition, even though it might not be quite proper technique, but the way they're doing something's kind of working, and the teacher can help develop that over time to take what that, like you said, this person learned a different way, but to work with that and to make them better and that kind of thing. So
And so you guys have events where these bands will play. Do you live stream them or do you do live events? Or?
Well, we do live events for the community and stuff like that. We probably should do some live streaming when we do that, but we do have videos of them on the Brett Ensley Studios. We have a YouTube thing where some of them are on there, but so that's what we do is that we try to partner up, with some, local event places. And there's one recently we did. Well, we've done the Foundry in the past, but that's a bigger venue that holds about 1,000 people. So, but we had so many artists this time, we had to break them up. So we found another place called the Poe Mill, a music event. And so they used an old mill that they turned into an event place in the studio. Cool. And they've been great so far. So it's been great. And so we did our first show this year on that, and then we got a second show and then a third one coming up.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. Yeah. How many students total do you have?
Have about 100 students.
Wow.
Yeah, 100, 101 around.
That's
right
growing
now.
a lot.
Yeah, we grew last year a pretty good bit, and so and then right now, like I said, we had to build another building, last year just to accommodate a few more teachers and some more space.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know when I first got introduced to you, it was through Mac Hatton at Sweetwater.
Oh, great. Love him.
He's awesome.
Oh, he's a great salesman. Love. I tell most people, I was like, it's not a salesman. He's a brother now.
Yeah, for real.
After 20 years, we talk about family and everything else. Sometimes we have to spend 20 minutes on the phone call just catching up.
Yeah. It's awesome. Every time I go up to Sweetwater, I get to catch up with him. He's great guy. So he introduced us, and then you were building control room in the house.
That's right.
And that was 2015.
Yeah, 15. I think we finished it between 15 and 16.
Yeah,
something
something
around
like
there.
that.
Yeah,
And I know that back then you were doing a lot of composing at that point. And do you still do a lot of composing today?
I do some. Yeah, yeah. So last year or the year before, I had to do one for a college.
Okay.
They wanted me to they commissioned me to use the film Go West, an old Western film,
Yeah.
and they actually wanted to play it live, with the movie.
Okay.
And so I had to create, which was it was a new record for me because see, there's no dialogue.
Right.
So it's straight up 81 minutes of music.
Yeah, wow.
Because like movies, it's always broken up.
Yeah.
So you maybe have 40, 45 minutes of music, but to write 81 minutes of music, and I had less than 3 months to put that together. But we put it together, and then I had to put a click track together so they could stay along with the movie. It's all kind of new for us. So that was a great adventure.
That's cool.
And stuff. And then, still doing some projects right now where I've been writing stuff for getting kids local orchestra. We're getting them to teach them how to record in here. So we recorded them in groups in here on some of the music. So we're training them on how to do that, and that's new in this area for us.
Sure.
Kind of thing, just to show them this is what they do. Out in LA and other things like that. Give them a taste of it, not as full blown, but just a taste of it.
Well, I think what's great is that you have the teaching aspect of it, which can have nothing to do with recording, but the fact that you have that capability here, at any moment you can teach someone about that because it's right on location, which is awesome. Because a lot of times you go into a practice room and there's no recording capability, so you're not even thinking that way. But in a space like this, like being able to set up in different parts of the room and showing the students how that changes the sound of the space and all that.
They learn a lot because that thing they learn is, this is my favorite part. They're like, okay, I try to mix my album at my home, and it's like, it sounds bad when I'm over here. And I tell them, I was like, you got to understand, that's why this room is treated. So we go in and teach them about the mix room and the reason why, about frequencies and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. So we help guide them in that. It's a great teaching tool. So we teach them like, look, we'll show you what happened. It's not bad. It's like when you get more knowledge, you'll understand, and the reasons why the choices were maybe all for this or that, a little bit, just because of they did, because of the room and stuff like that. So,
I think being able to be in a space like this that they may not have access to in another venue is awesome. Yeah,
that's what we love to do. That's a big part of it. A lot of students don't have the access, and that's what we want to give them, is the access to it, and it helps a lot. So when they walk away from here, that's the fun part. It's like they got to learn about these things where they might not have a chance in other areas potentially.
Yeah. So the students that you have right now, I mean, you've been growing a ton. What's kind of your grand vision? Like, is there more growth on the horizon? Or are you trying to kind of settle down at around 100 students? Or
that's a great question. Right now, it's crazy because since we're getting to that number, it's like you're having to do all the work of a school that's up to 500 to 1,000. That's what my wife says. She works at a pretty big school, and she's like, you kind of have to do all the same stuff, just not as much volume,
Yeah.
So it's like either we, need to grow a lot bigger or stay really small. But I think right now, I hope that we continue to grow because the more we can grow and the bigger that we can get, the more access things that we can give to, and we're enjoying it. That's the thing is that we're hoping that one day that not only doing bands, but we wanted to put bands and orchestras together, because the fun part is around here is like some of the orchestra people don't get to play pop music or funk music. They're strictly get to have to do orchestral a lot of times, or film scoring, but they would like to do some other aspects or play on some new music. So that's been great that we have students now, they'll write music, and I'm like, hey, we got some great horn players that are in CYS orchestras. So we have a local Carolina Youth Orchestra here that's great, and you see we can get some of them, and they record pretty well. It's like, hey, they're not too shabby, and they do a great job. So we like to cultivate that.
Well, it seems like you're like a connector. There's so many different aspects of the community, in the music community around here, that you're able to get people together to make something fun happen.
That's my favorite part. Really, to be honest with you, that's my favorite part is connecting with people. I mean, and putting them with people to connect. I try to get a feel for a person, and I'm like, oh, hey, it's like Sean or whoever, another guy here, y'all kind of have the same stuff. Y'all need to like kind of meet up and talk. And when they meet up, lo and behold, they start doing band stuff together. Or the band class has been great. When they're in band class, a lot of the guys are doing band stuff outside of this. And we're trying to promote that. That's what we want, is like, because, students today, it's very easy not to connect with the phone. A lot of times they're, doing a lot of social media stuff, and it's hard to have a conversation or talk to people. And here, there's no phones. I mean, you got to communicate and you got to talk, and they find joy in that too.
That's really cool.
Yeah, they find joy in it, and then they connect. Yeah. So.
Back when we first did that control room, how many students did you have there? Because you were teaching people, but it felt like it was, at least from my perspective, it felt like maybe 5 to 10.
That's right.
Like that.
I had probably no more than 10.
Okay.
If that, at the time, Especially, when I did a control room, because I had lost some students, because I was doing more I was doing tracks and stuff at the time that we were doing that, So that kept me kind of busy, but more and more just, we slowly wanted to teach and stuff like that. So
word of mouth and referral, I'm sure, is probably a lot of your business.
Yeah,
right?
It's almost 100% of our business. Big part of it, yes.
Yeah, because once someone, I'm sure, once they walk in here and they tell their friends about their experience at this place, I'm sure it builds curiosity and brings more people in.
It does. That's the reason why we set up tours. A lot of times when someone's on the phone, it's like, we don't want to explain much. We want you to come and check it out.
Yeah.
And so that's the big part of it. When they check it out, and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have to, because sometimes I'm horrible at explaining things. So so when I try to explain to them, a lot of people, it's hard for them to have the imagination, because a lot of them have never been around this kind of stuff. I mean, just because I've been around it a lot doesn't mean they have. So it's hard for them when I start talking about a studio, they think, a very typical school studio, But when they get in, they're like, oh, you mean you record and stuff too? Like, oh, that kind of studio. I'm like, we do that too. And but because they can see it now. That kind of thing. Yeah. So
I'm really excited, like from the time I first met you and doing that control room over there and then expanding over here. It's just been cool to see the growth happen. And I also know, I've known you for quite a while now. I know that you're really investing in these students and doing it for the right reasons and trying to grow the community. So it's really awesome to see that.
Well, I appreciate that. That's been a lot of fun. That's the thing. It's first when you're getting started, you really want to, go after the big jobs and not have to deal with so many people. That's the whole point. You get to that kind of. For me, that was where my attitude was. But it was like. But as I started teaching and doing more, I didn't realize how much I really enjoyed just talking and teaching to people. That's and come to find out, the more I'm around all these creative kids, it's made me more creative. Like on film school, and I didn't realize I don't feel like I ever have writer's block, because a kid will do something and I'm like, I started writing it down because it was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, they teach me a lot of times. I teach them a lot, but that's why I always try to do my best not to be jaded. As an older adult, I want to listen to them, because sometimes they do have some great ideas. And sometimes they, of course, they like teenagers. They say stuff, but but they do. They're very gifted, and it helps. Yeah, I love the creativity, and I didn't realize the more you build a community and a creative community, and build that, it kind of just keeps everything flowing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for taking time to be on the podcast.
Oh, no, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And having us involved in all of your projects over the years. It's been really cool. So
it's been great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Well, that's been another episode of the S.O.U.N.D Project. Thanks for being a part of it, and we'll see you next week.